Thanks for joining us. Several people, including some with rescue groups, are complaining about Lawrence County Animal Control.
Ramey Cohen went to Lawrence County to check out what's happening. Ramey joins us live now in studio.
Frank and Lori, I spoke with several people with concerns about the treatment of animals at the Lawrence County Animal Control Facility. They share some before and after pictures. Catherine Wood runs an activist group called Rock on Rescue. She says when people complained about some dogs at the Lawrence County Animal Control looking like they were starving, she stepped in.
Once I pulled that dog and saw the intake picture and the dog was emaciated, a walking skeleton, I would describe him as.
Wood found King, who is at animal control for 40 days. She says they spent $500 on tests for a veterinarian to look at him and getting him back in shape.
He could have been euthanized at 10 days and been put out of his misery, but instead you kept him alive and kept him starved, and he could have died before I got to him.
Macy Raffield is one of several people who contacted me about problems with Lawrence County Animal Control. Raffield says her family signed off on euthanization papers for their pit bull Dixie after a relative was injured breaking up a fight. Weeks later, they found out from an activist organization on Facebook their dog was still alive but had lost a lot of weight.
Thinking that they had been deceased for almost a month now, just to log on to Facebook and see that she was being let to starve and was being neglected.
Raffield says after their dogs Dixie and Ruby got into a fight, Animal Control originally told the family they had to sign surrender papers because Raffield's mom got hurt breaking up the fight, bad enough to go to the hospital, even though the dogs weren't going after her.
Status ended up changing. They no longer had to be euthanized. They could now be adopted back out, and they were no longer, deemed violent dogs. Well, at this time, we weren't informed of that.
When they later found out Dixie was alive, she looked much thinner after more than a month there. County Administrator Brian Rogers denies that staff neglected the dogs.
Completely misinformation. People are misinformed. Unfortunately, when people see something on Facebook, they obviously assume it's the truth. In this case, I assure you it's not.
Rogers blames the weight loss on the dog going from a diet with table scraps to one of dog food only. He says the staff takes good care of the animals. Meanwhile, Raffield says the situation is taking an emotional toll on her family. The rescue group says King recovered and was adopted by a family. Dixie and Ruby are still looking for a new home.
All right, Ramey Cohen, we're live in studio tonight on the situation in Lawrence County.